Friends, let me ask you something. If you had gold in your hand, would you just leave it on the street for anyone to take? Of course not. You'd keep it safe, locked, protected. Then why, when it comes to our secrets, our emotions, our deepest struggles, do we sometimes throw them around so casually, telling anyone and everyone we meet? A wise man once said, "The more you talk, the more you leak your power," and it's true. Sometimes the biggest reason for our pain is not what people did to us, but what we told them about us. Today, let's talk about why you must stop telling people your secrets and how silence can protect your peace, your dignity, and even your destiny. Not everyone has pure intentions. This is one of the hardest truths to accept in life, yet one of the most important to understand. You see, when we share our secrets, our private struggles, or our weaknesses with others, we assume they will treat them with the same sensitivity and respect we would show if the roles were reversed. But the world doesn't work that way. Some people may listen to you with compassion, but others listen with calculation. They store your words not in their heart, but in their pocket, like a card they can pull out at the right time to use against you. Think about it. Haven't you ever noticed how sweet some people sound when you're confiding in them? They nod, they smile, they even say, "Don't worry, I'll never tell anyone." And for a moment you feel lighter, but later you hear the same words you whispered in trust being repeated by someone who should have never known. And that's when it hits you. Not everyone listens to understand, some listen to spread. Not everyone listens to help, some listen to harm. The truth is, human beings have different motives. Some will pretend to be close to you only to dig deeper into your life. Why? Because your secret is their entertainment. Your struggle becomes their story. Your pain becomes their weapon. And the sad part is, you handed it to them yourself. It's like giving someone the keys to your house and then being shocked when they walk in without knocking. When you share too easily, you forget that not everyone claps when you succeed, and not everyone cries when you suffer. Some smile at your face, but secretly feel relief when you are down. Such people don't need weapons to hurt you. They only need your words, your secrets, your trust. And once they have it, they can twist it, exaggerate it, or reveal it at the exact moment it will sting you the most. That is why wisdom says, protect your heart by protecting your words. Silence is not weakness, it is strength. When you remain silent, people can only guess about your life. But when you open up carelessly, you give them a sword and trust them not to use it. Unfortunately, not everyone you trust is trustworthy. So the next time you feel like pouring your heart out to someone, pause. Ask yourself, do they truly care about me, or are they simply curious? Will they protect my secret, or will they pass it on the moment I leave? Remember, not everyone has pure intentions, and it's better to carry some secrets alone than to place them in the wrong hands and regret it forever. Energy leak. That's what happens every time you tell someone too much about yourself. Imagine your life is like a container filled with water. That water is your strength, your dignity, your inner energy. When the container is full, you feel confident, calm, and powerful. But every time you overshare, every time you reveal a secret that should have stayed within you, it's like poking a tiny hole in that container. Drop by drop, your energy starts leaking out. At first, you don't notice it. You think, oh, what harm is there in telling this? It feels so light after I share. But soon, you begin to feel drained. Why? Because the more you speak about your private matters, the more you transfer ownership of your emotions to someone else. You lose control. Your happiness, your confidence, your peace, they no longer belong entirely to you. They depend on how the other person treats the information you gave them. Think of it like this: if a king reveals his strategies before the battle, is he still powerful? No, because now his opponent knows exactly where to attack. Similarly, when you tell everyone your dreams, your fears, your weaknesses, your past mistakes, you hand over the blueprint of your life. People can now predict your moves, manipulate your emotions, or even block your success. You feel weaker not because you are weak, but because your energy has leaked away into too many hands. Haven't you ever experienced it? You confide in someone, and for a while it feels good. But later you keep wondering, what if they tell others? What if they judge me now? What if they think less of me? That anxiety itself is proof of the energy you've lost. The very peace you were looking for by sharing gets stolen in the process. And instead of relief, you feel restless. There is a quiet power in keeping things to yourself. When your energy is contained, when your secrets are guarded, you walk into a room with dignity. People may look at you and think, I don't really know what's on this person's mind. And that mystery itself gives you strength. Your silence creates presence. Your restraint creates respect. But oversharing, it does the opposite. It reduces your aura. It takes away that silent strength and replaces it with vulnerability in the wrong hands. You become like a leaking balloon, slowly deflating, losing air, losing shape, losing impact. And the saddest part is, you did it to yourself. So guard your energy. Protect your words. Before speaking, ask yourself, does this add to my strength or does it leak my strength? Remember, the strongest rivers carve valleys not by shouting, but by silently flowing with force. Your energy is precious. Don't let it leak away through careless words. Trust is rare, and because it is rare, it is precious. We live in a world where almost everyone wears a mask. Some wear the mask of a friend, some wear the mask of a well-wisher, some even wear the mask of a confidant. But behind those masks, not all hearts are genuine. When we share our secrets, we place an enormous responsibility in someone else's hands. The responsibility to guard what is fragile, what is sensitive, what is deeply personal. And sadly, not everyone can carry that responsibility with honesty. Think about it: if you had a diamond, would you give it to just anyone to hold? Of course not. You'd make sure that the person is trustworthy, careful, and truly values what you've given them. But when it comes to our secrets, sometimes we give them away too casually. We hand over our inner diamonds to people who see them not as treasures but as tools. Tools to gossip, to entertain others, or to gain power over us. Most people are good at being listeners, but very few are good at being keepers. Many will nod, comfort you, and even say, "Don't worry, your secret is safe with me." But the moment they get bored, or the moment they need attention in their own circle, guess what story they will share? Yours. They will never reveal their own weakness, but your weakness will become their content. That is why trust is not something you should give easily. It is not something to be distributed like free samples. It is something to be earned, proven, tested over time. Some of the greatest heartbreaks in life don't come from enemies. They come from friends who could not keep your secrets safe. It feels like betrayal. And it hurts more than anything else because you didn't expect it from them. But remember this: the problem wasn't just their disloyalty, it was also your choice of trust. You trusted too quickly, too easily. You handed over what should have been locked inside you. True trust is like finding water in the desert. rare, refreshing, and life-giving. When you find someone who can truly guard your secrets, who listens not to spread, but to protect, you've found a rare gem. Such people don't just keep your secrets, they keep your dignity intact. They become a shield around you. And when life gives you even one such person, be grateful, because they are rarer than gold. But here is the wisdom: don't expect everyone to be that person. Don't test every friend with your secrets. Don't gamble your peace by putting it in too many pockets. Remember, most pockets have holes, and once your secret falls out, you can never pick it up again. So what do? Build inner trust first. Learn to sit with your own secrets without rushing to unload them. Learn to be your own confidant. And if you must share, share only with those who have consistently proven their loyalty, not by words but by actions over time. Trust is rare, and because it is rare, it should be guarded carefully, like the most valuable possession of your life. Words travel faster than you think, much faster. In fact, sometimes the moment you whisper a secret to one person, it's almost as if the universe itself takes it on a journey you never intended. You think you've spoken into a safe box, but in reality, you've dropped a feather into the wind. And once a feather is in the air, can you ever control where it lands? No, it floats, it drifts, it travels, and it reaches places you never imagined. This is exactly what happens with our words. We tell one person in confidence, "Please don't tell anyone, I'm only trusting you." And they genuinely might believe they'll keep it. But then, in a casual conversation with another close friend, they sleepy, "I shouldn't be telling you this, but did you know?" And now, the circle widens. That friend too promises silence until the next moment of weakness. Before you know it, something you thought was locked in one heart is now wandering across 10 mouths, 20 ears, and 100 minds. The irony is, people rarely spread secrets with evil intention. Sometimes they do it for entertainment. Sometimes they do it because they don't realize the weight of your words. Sometimes they do it just to fill an awkward silence with a story. But the result is always the same. Your private life becomes public property. What you wanted to keep hidden becomes casual discussion for people who were never meant to know. And here's the most painful part: you cannot rewind. Once words are out, you can't pull them back. They cannot be stuffed into the same box you pulled them out from. It's like squeezing out toothpaste. Once it's out of the tube, you can't push it back in. That is why old wisdom always says, before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? But I would add another gate: is it safe to be spoken? How many lives, friendships, and careers have been damaged because someone trusted the wrong ear with the wrong words? How many reputations have been destroyed not by lies, but by truths spoken to the wrong people? Words travel, they multiply. They pick up speed like fire catching in dry grass. One spark is enough, and soon the whole field is burning. That's why silence is such a powerful shield. When you don't say it, nobody can twist it. When you keep it in, nobody can spread it. When you choose restraint, you control the direction of your own story. But when you release your words carelessly, you hand over the pen of your life to others, and they may write chapters you never intended. So the next time your heart pushes you to share something private, pause and ask, am I ready for this to be known beyond this one person? Am I ready for my whisper to echo in unexpected places? Because once it leaves your lips, your secret is no longer just yours. It belongs to the wind, and the wind has no loyalty to you. Respect yourself enough to keep some things private. This is not just about protecting secrets. It is about protecting your self-worth. You see, when you tell everyone everything, when you pour out every detail of your life, you unconsciously lower the value of your own story. What is rare is valuable. What is common is cheap. If a diamond was lying on every street corner, would anyone bend down to pick it up? No, its value lies in its rarity. In the same way, your dignity, your privacy, your uniqueness, all lose value when you expose too much of yourself to too many people. Respect begins with you. If you treat your inner world casually, others will too. If you share every detail of your struggles, your weaknesses, your personal experiences without thought, people may not see you as strong, wise, or dignified. They may begin to see you as fragile, careless, or easy to exploit. And here lies a deep truth. People treat you the way you teach them to treat you. If you teach them that your boundaries are weak, they will cross them. If you show them that your life is an open book for anyone to read, they will flip through your chapters without respect for the content. Think of the most respected figures in history. Were they respected because they told the whole world everything about their private lives? No. They were respected because they carried themselves with grace, with discretion, with a sense of mystery. They spoke what was necessary, and they kept the rest guarded in the vault of their own mind. That silence itself commanded respect. On the other hand, consider people who overshare. At first, it may feel entertaining to others, but slowly their value decreases. People begin to think, if this person can tell me so much about their own life, imagine how much they tell others about mine. And that thought erodes respect. You may not realize it, but every careless word chips away at the image people hold of you. Respect yourself enough to pause before you speak. Ask, does the world need to know this about me? Does this strengthen me, or does this expose me unnecessarily? Will this make people respect me more or less? If the answer doesn't align with dignity, then silence is the higher choice. Respect is not demanded, it is cultivated, and cultivation requires discipline. Just as a gardener doesn't let weeds grow wildly among his flowers, you must not let your words spill recklessly from your lips. Protect the garden of your dignity by carefully choosing what you reveal and what you withhold. Remember this, privacy is not secrecy. Privacy is self-respect. Privacy says, my life is valuable, and not everyone deserves access to it. Privacy says, my soul is not a marketplace where anyone can walk in and browse. Privacy says, I respect myself enough to know that my inner world is sacred. So hold yourself with that respect. When you walk into a room, let people wonder who you are, what you think, what you feel. Let them be curious, because curiosity creates respect. But once you spill every detail, curiosity dies, and along with it, dignity. Respect yourself enough to keep some things private, because what is hidden is often the most powerful. The power of mystery. This is something most people don't realize until they lose it. When you reveal everything about yourself, when every thought, every plan, every struggle is spoken out loud, you become predictable. And predictability is weakness. But when you hold back, when you let people see only a part of you while keeping the rest inside, you carry an aura, a presence, a silent strength. That strength is called mystery. Mystery is not about lying. Mystery is not about pretending to be someone you're not. Mystery is simply the art of not giving everything away. It is knowing that silence can sometimes speak louder than words. It is choosing wisely what to reveal and what to protect. When people don't know everything about you, they cannot fully control you. They cannot fully attack you. They cannot fully understand your strategies. And that alone gives you an upper hand in life. Think about the most magnetic people you've ever met. Why do they stay in your mind long after they've left the room? It's not always because of what they said. It's often because of what they didn't say. You're left wondering, what more is there to this person? What else are they holding inside? That curiosity creates respect. It creates attraction. It creates presence. On the other hand, those who overshare lose their power quickly. If you can predict everything they're going to say or do, where is the excitement? Where is the strength? Where is the respect? Their life becomes an open book that nobody values because there is no suspense, no wisdom of restraint, no dignity of silence. Mystery also protects you from harm. Imagine a chess game. If you reveal every move you're going to make before playing it, your opponent will easily defeat you. But if you hold your strategy close, if you let your move surprise, then you control the game. Life works the same way. When you tell everyone your plans, your dreams, your weaknesses, you make yourself vulnerable. But when you guard your inner world, you move with quiet strength, and people cannot easily interfere with your journey. Even in relationships, mystery is powerful. Love grows deeper not when everything is exposed at once, but when layers are slowly revealed over time. Mystery keeps bonds alive. It creates curiosity. It keeps the flame burning. If you give everything away too quickly, the magic fades. But if you reveal wisely, carefully, lovingly, you create a bond that deepens with each discovery. Mystery is not selfishness. Mystery is wisdom. It is the understanding that not every part of you is meant for every person. Some parts of you are sacred. Some are only for those who have earned the right to know. Some are only for you and your Creator. And the rest, let them remain unspoken. Let them add depth to your presence. So carry the power of mystery with you. Walk into the world not as an open book, but as a deep ocean. Let people see the surface, but let them wonder about the depths. Because the ocean is respected not only for what is visible, but for the vast unknown that lies beneath. And that unknown, that mystery, is what keeps its power alive, healing in silence. This is one of the deepest lessons life can teach us. Most of us believe that the only way to release our pain is to talk about it, to pour it out, to hand it over to someone else. And yes, sometimes speaking helps. Sometimes sharing can lighten the load for a moment. But here is the hidden truth. Not all healing happens in words. Some of the most powerful healing happens in silence. When you are hurt, when you are broken, your first instinct is to run to someone and say, "Listen to me, help me, fix me." And in that moment, maybe you feel a little better. They nod, they comfort you, they say a few kind words. But soon after you leave, the pain returns. Why? Because you didn't heal. You only transferred your pain temporarily. You didn't face it, you only leaked it. And when that happens, the wound remains. Silence, on the other hand, forces you to sit with yourself. It teaches you to listen to your own heart, to observe your own pain without rushing to cover it with noise. In silence, you begin to understand yourself more deeply. You realize where the wound truly lies, what triggered it, and what you need to grow from it. Silence is like a mirror. It reflects back not only your pain, but also your strength. And let me tell you something beautiful: silence is not empty. Silence is full of answers. The problem is, most people are too afraid to face it. They distract themselves with endless conversations, endless sharing, endless noise, because they fear what silence will reveal. But if you embrace it, silence becomes a doctor. It stitches wounds that words cannot. It comforts in ways no human being can. It connects you to a higher power, to your own soul, to the peace that exists beyond pain. Think about nature. A tree doesn't cry out loud when it loses its leaves in autumn. The river doesn't scream when rocks try to block its way. The sky doesn't shout when it's filled with clouds. Nature heals in silence. It adapts, it grows, it transforms quietly. And that quiet strength is what makes it so powerful. The same is true for you. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to step back, to be still, to heal in silence. When you resist the urge to tell the whole world about your suffering, you conserve your energy. You allow your inner strength to rise. You begin to realize that you don't always need external validation to feel better. You carry within you a natural medicine, silence. Yes, people may ask, why are you so quiet? Why aren't you sharing? And that's fine. You don't owe them an explanation. Healing is not a performance. It's not for the audience. Healing is personal. It happens in the quiet spaces of your soul, where no one else can interfere. So the next time you feel broken, before rushing to speak, try silence. Sit with yourself. Write if you must, pray if you must, cry if you must, but do it in silence. You'll discover that peace doesn't always come from being heard. Sometimes the deepest peace comes from hearing yourself in the quiet. Healing in silence is not loneliness. It is strength, it is growth, it is transformation. Not every situation needs explanation. This is such a liberating truth, yet so few of us live by it. Most of us waste enormous amounts of energy trying to explain ourselves to people who may never even understand us. We feel this constant pressure. What will they think of me? What if they misunderstand? What if they misjudge my silence? And so we talk and talk and talk, thinking that if we explain enough, they will finally get it. But here is the reality. No matter how clear your words are, some people will never understand you simply because they don't want to. Explaining yourself to everyone is like standing in the middle of a storm, trying to convince the wind to be still. Impossible. Some people have already made up their minds about you. Some people are determined to see you the wrong way. And no matter how beautifully, logically, or patiently you explain, they will twist your words to fit their own version of the story. When you try too hard to justify yourself, you don't clear their misunderstanding, you only drain your own peace. There is wisdom in silence. There is dignity in restraint. Not every question deserves an answer. Not every rumor deserves a reaction. Not every accusation deserves your energy. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response. Because silence cannot be misquoted. Silence cannot be twisted. Silence protects your dignity far more than unnecessary explanations ever can. Think about it. When you are in an argument and you stay calm, when you don't feel the need to prove your innocence in front of people who already believe the worst, who holds the real power, not the one screaming, not the one justifying. It is the one who knows their truth and doesn't feel the need to advertise it. That calmness is strength. That silence is respect for yourself. Life teaches us that those who truly love you don't need endless explanations. They trust you even in your silence. And those who don't love you, even if you write them a 1,000-page book of explanations, they will still doubt you. So why waste your breath on those who have already decided not to see you clearly? Why give your energy away to people who don't deserve it? Not every action of yours needs defending. Not every choice needs justification. You don't need to explain why you are protecting your boundaries, why you are saying no, why you are prioritizing your peace. The moment you stop explaining unnecessarily, you reclaim control over your life. You stop living to please others and you start living to honor yourself. And remember, silence doesn't mean weakness. Silence often means wisdom. It means you value your energy too much to spend it in places where it won't bear fruit. It means you've grown enough to know that the truth doesn't always need to be spoken. It simply needs to be lived. So, when life puts you in situations where you are tempted to explain, pause. Ask yourself, is this person genuinely seeking to understand me, or are they only seeking to argue with me? If it's the latter, choose silence. Let your actions, let your peace, let your character do the speaking for you. Because in the end, the people who matter will understand you without explanations. And the people who demand constant explanations, they don't matter. Not every situation needs explanation. Sometimes silence is the highest form of self-respect. Secrets protect relationships. This might sound surprising at first, because we are often told, in a strong relationship, you should share everything. No secrets, no walls. And while honesty is indeed essential, there is a difference between honesty and overexposure. A relationship, whether friendship, family, or love, does not grow stronger by telling each other every single detail of your thoughts, past, or weaknesses. In fact, too much sharing can sometimes become poison. Silence, on the other hand, can save love, protect bonds, and preserve trust. Think about it: when two people come together, they bring not just their present, but also their pasts, their insecurities, their private histories. Now imagine pouring all of that out without filters, without wisdom. What happens? The relationship begins to carry unnecessary weight. Words once spoken cannot be unsaid. And sometimes, what you reveal in a moment of vulnerability can later become a weapon in the hands of someone angry, hurt, or careless. How many friendships have broken because one person revealed too much and the other couldn't handle it? How many marriages have suffered because a painful detail, better left in silence, was dragged into the light and created wounds that never healed? Not everything needs to be told. Some things, if spoken, bring harm, not healing. Silence in these matters is not betrayal, it is protection. It protects the relationship from storms that don't need to exist. Imagine a house. Its beauty is not just in the walls you see, but also in the foundation you don't see. Do you constantly dig up the foundation to show your partner how it's built? No, because disturbing it will weaken the entire house. In the same way, relationships are built on a foundation of trust, love, and respect. Exposing every hidden detail of your inner world can shake that foundation unnecessarily. Some things are better left buried because they serve no purpose in the present except to create cracks. Another truth is this: love thrives on respect, and respect often comes from restraint. When you hold back certain words, when you choose silence over spilling every thought, you are actually protecting the dignity of the relationship. You're telling yourself, this bond is too valuable to risk by saying something that doesn't need to be said. That restraint is a form of love. Of course, this doesn't mean you lie or deceive. It simply means